Dolphins fans, if you're excited for the 2022 NFL Draft, I want you to do this. You see the like button underneath the video? I want you to go ahead and click that. Now, I get it. The past few years, the first round has been, well, a little bit shaky for the Dolphins. Hopefully, Miami sees this video here. They take some of the players that I suggest. But if you're excited for the draft, go ahead and smash that like button. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down the Miami Dolphins' top draft targets at their first-round pick, number 22 overall in this year's draft. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, ready to break down the top 5 players that I really think that if the Dolphins have them available there to them, they should take them. We're also going to be breaking down the overall picks that they have and some of the bigger draft needs. Now, in terms of the 2022 draft picks, I do want to make a statement that technically only the first 3 rounds are the ones that are locked and loaded. Pick number 22, 50, and number 100. 100 is actually a compensatory pick, but some of these other ones, like they have around 4, they have around 5, they have around 6, and then they have around 7. The exact number in terms of which pick that is, that can still actually change. Now, in terms of some of these draft needs that the Dolphins have, these aren't ranked in any particular order, though I think most people out here would say offensive tackle is probably their biggest need. Interior offensive line is definitely up there. Wide receiver, finding somebody else that you compare with a Jalen Waddle. Running back's a major need, and whether you like it or not, the amount of rumors that are still circulating around Tua Tagovailoa, I went ahead and put quarterback up there as well. You might even throw tight end if you don't bring back Mike Gesicki. Now, those are my biggest Dolphins draft needs, and usually, you're going to address some stuff in trades, free agency, and a lot of that stuff is going to change what some of these draft needs are. Another reason to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we're going to go ahead and keep you guys up to date on all that good stuff. But let me know down in the comments section, what is the Dolphins' biggest draft need right now? We are going to go from 5, and I'm going to work my way all the way down to 1 in terms of Dolphins draft targets, and I tried to be realistic of guys who could actually be there at number 22. There's a reason why somebody like Evan Neal, you're not going to see him on this list, though. If he slid all the way down to 22, he'd be number 1. Coming in at number 5 is offensive tackle from Texas A&M, Kenyon Green. The thing that I really like about him is he can play offensive guard and offensive tackle. He's made 35 starts in 3 seasons, and in fact, has played on every single position on the offensive line, minus center. When you're the Dolphins and you have the amount of headaches that they do on the O-line, finding a player like Green and his versatility could help you out a lot. He's a solid run blocker. He's even an above-average pass blocker. He's going to be a really solid player in the NFL. Now, I can also understand this. If you took somebody like Liam Eichenberg last season, who everyone was like, oh, he could play tackle, he could play guard, and Eichenberg definitely struggled a little bit. If you're like, no, I want a no-doubt either guard, a no-doubt offensive tackle, I'll be honest with y'all, I would actually understand that a little bit. Now, to get free videos around the Miami Dolphins, and remember, the more subs equals the more videos that y'all are going to get. There was actually a time on this channel that we almost did videos every single day. Unfortunately, the sub numbers fell off. So let's try to get to 20,000 subs. Let's keep building this bad boy here. So if you are one of our loyal subscribers, send this channel to a Dolphins friend, send it to a relative, send it to somebody like, hey, these guys make free content. If you're a Dolphins fan, we're the channel for you. So go ahead, hit that sub button. Let's go to number 4 here. Icky Ekwonu, and he's another offensive lineman from North Carolina State. Spoiler alert, you're going to see a lot of offensive linemen here on today's show, because I think we would agree that's where this team needs to really get corrected. He was an awesome left tackle this upcoming season. Here's the thing, though, and this is kind of one of these situations where the more and more tape I watch on him, the more and more I hear from some of these NFL draft analysts, it kind of sounds like he's going to be a little bit better as an offensive guard than an offensive tackle at the National Football League, for the simple fact of he's a great run blocker, probably better than what he would be as a pass blocker. And there's going to be some teams that are going to want to put him on the interior. I've seen some concerns with his arm length. His body is a really big dude. He's built more like a guard. But the fact that he allowed just 3 sacks and 10 hurries this season, really, really impressive. Now, I don't know about y'all. I know it's getting cold. Heck, I walked to work today in Dallas, Texas, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to need an extra sweatshirt. If anybody out there is like, I need an extra sweatshirt, even my mom, when it's 80 degrees, she's always cold. So, Mom, if you need a Dolphins hoodie, we got you covered here. Go to chatsports.com/Dolphins sale. Whether you need a T-shirt, a hat, we got shorts. There's all different types of stuff. It's also not just what you see on screen. there is hundreds, and I mean hundreds of different types of Miami Dolphins apparel, gear, anything you can imagine. It's all on sale. That link is going to be available for you all in the comments. It's going to also be available for you in the description in case for whatever reason you can't remember chatsports.com/Dolphin sale. Let's go to number 3 here, and I was a little bit tempted to just put wide receiver instead of just Jameson Williams, but the reason why I'm going to put the wide receiver out of Alabama, because not that his situation is the same as Jalen Waddle, because I really think Jalen Waddle is an overall better prospect than what Jameson Williams is. But Miami, they believed in a guy. They believed in the prospect in Waddle despite him having his injuries. And, a lot of people are like, oh, Waddle could fall down the draft due to those injuries that he had. And Miami's like, no, we want the player. We like the kid, and he's going to be healthy for the regular season. If Jameson Williams falls to pick number 22, I really, truly believe that the Dolphins need to start thinking about it, because I really think before he tore his ACL in the national championship game, this would have been the top receiver taken in this year's draft. Now, he still might end up being that. I don't 100% know. I am not a doctor. But I do know this. Out of all those top receiver prospects, this guy might actually truly be my number 1. Now, he averaged 19.9 yards per catch this upcoming season. You pair that with his old teammate in Jalen Waddle. And if you are one of those dudes that you're like, you know what? I'm a little bit worried about the injury. There's a lot of really talented receivers in this year's class. I'm okay with taking Garrett Wilson at 22, Chris Olave, Drake London, Treylon Burks, heck, even Dotson from Penn State. Lots and lots of wide receiver talent. So even though I put number 3 as Jameson Williams, I also put number 3 as maybe the top receiver out there in terms of whoever the top receivers left on the board at 22. If all those other linemen are gone that you're about to see, then maybe that's the route that you go. So well, here's your time. Be the GM, since I'm kind of sick and tired of Chris Greer's BS here. Who should the Dolphins draft at number 22 overall? This is probably going to be the most popular question on today's show, and this is going to be the number 1 question. I want you guys to go down in the comments and let me know, who should Miami draft at 22? Now, this is a dude that I absolutely love, Tyler Linderbaum, and this is a player who I could actually see going in the top 10, but I could also see him sliding down a little bit simply because he is a center, and the Miami Dolphins definitely need a center. And I really, truly believe that he's going to be one of the long-term offensive linemen, one of the best centers in the National Football League for a very long time. This dude can pull, he can run, he can pass block. I know when we always say, there's no weaknesses, I actually mean this. I really don't know if there's any weaknesses in his game. Now, he is the best run-blocking player in this year's draft. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Pass blocking, he can get a little bit better at. But the fact is this. Personally, if I was an NFL team like Miami and a center was there at 22, I know sometimes people get a little bit worried about taking the center in round 1. Absolutely would do it. The only other guy that I would take over him, and the reason why he's number 1, and to be honest, this could be another player who I could see going in the top 10. It could really impact in terms of, where does somebody like Neal end up going, and that's Charles Cross. One of the debates that this season is going to be is very similar to what we dealt with last year, Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater. I could actually see that being similar this year with, hey, do you want to go with Neal? Do you want to go with Charles Cross? But we knew that Cross had some serious upside entering into 2021. I don't know if I personally thought that he was going to have as good of a season as what he did, but the fact that this young man took a massive, and I mean a massive step forward underneath Mike Leach, round of applause to him. He allowed just 2 sacks, 14 hurries this year in the SEC, and the guys that he was going up against are some of the best in the college football. And not only was he playing well, this dude was dominating. So here are my Dolphins draft targets at pick number 22 in round 1. Now, like I said before, if Neal from Alabama ends up sliding, it's not going to happen. But, I left off certain names on here simply because there's no chance that they fall all the way down to pick number 22. So out of the 5 names that you see on screen, Kenyon Green, Icky Ekwonu, Jameson Williams, Tyler Linderbaum, or Charles Cross, if you had to pick one of these 5 dudes, if all 5 were on the board, who would you pick? I want you to type KG for Kenyon Green, type IE for Icky, Jameson Williams, JW, Tyler Linderbaum, TL, or type CC for Charles Cross. Now, obviously, there's a lot of draft prospects out there, right? I mean, there's just numerous. I always recommend giving my guy Tom Downey a follow on Twitter. I recommend, obviously, following this YouTube channel here, following our Chat Sports channel. But there's going to be a lot of prospects to go ahead and break down. And if you thought, wow, I can't believe Mitch left this guy off the list, here's your opportunity to tell me that I'm bad at my job, and here's an opportunity to tell me some other draft prospects that you think Miami should consider in round 1.